Yes, it is my duty to put forward a resolution to censure conduct of a school board member. Whereas it has come to the attention of the members of the school board of the County of Spotsylvania that one of its members, Amanda Blalock, is engaged in conduct that the board views as both improper and unacceptable. And whereas a discussion of the offending conduct of the board member was held in closed session pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A1, which permits the board to discuss the performance and disciplining of specific public officers. And whereas the school board desires to express to the public that the offending conduct by Ms. Blalock was improper and violative of the school board's code of ethics, and that it does not approve of such conduct. And whereas the school board finds that Ms. Blalock engaged in the inappropriate use of the school division's email system in violation of school board policies and regulations, including IIBE-R2, IIBA, IIBEA-R, and her user agreement. And whereas the school board has no authority to remove any elected school board member from office, which can only be done by a circuit court under Virginia Code Section 24.2-233. And whereas the school board finds that Ms. Blalock failed to report a known clear violation of school board policy by school personnel with whom she had personal relationships, which prevented the board from making the required investigation of such improper conduct. And whereas the school board finds that Ms. Blalock engaged in improper personal relationships with school board employees. And whereas the school board finds that Ms. Blalock violated the Spotsylvania School Board Code of Ethics, which require her to, 1, avoid any conflict of interest or the appearance of impropriety, 2, make no individual decisions that might compromise the board or administration, and 3, demonstrate appropriate behavior/conduct as a public school board member. Therefore, be it resolved that the school board of the County of Spotsylvania hereby expresses its disapproval of the improper and unacceptable conduct exhibited by member Amanda Blalock as to the above matters as discussed in closed session. I so move.
Call for the second.
Second.
Ms. Gillespie is the second. At this time, any discussion? Hearing no need for discussion, therefore I'm going to call for the roll call vote. Aye. Call for the vote.
Gillespie, aye.
Fowler, aye.
I'll call for the vote. Ayes, 4. At roll call, 1 nay. Mrs. Blalock. All right, at this time, I asked if there was discussion. We declined.
Would I be allowed to make a statement?
I will present that as a request to the board.
If I would be allowed, okay, I would like to make a statement.
Is it acceptable to the board? She declined the discussion. I have, you acceptable, Mr. Gillespie? Therefore, answer is yes.
Thank you. I have prepared a statement. I would first like to apologize to my constituents and my colleagues as I've displayed poor judgment in using the school division's email system to send personal emails. I, however, categorically deny that I have ever attempted to use my position as a school board member improperly and all other allegations. I do not believe the censure motion has merit. It is disproportionate to the mistake I have made, and it is unfair in that several other school board members have done the same thing, perhaps, or even worse. As I have said, I am not the only one who has used the school division's email system for personal use, but I am the only one being sanctioned. So you have to ask, why hasn't Dr. Hill asked the board members to review personal emails of all the other board members? The answer, in my opinion, to these allegations are clear retaliation for my criticism of Dr. Hill's leadership and an effort to embarrass me and discredit me for standing up on the issues. The emails in question were pulled last spring and reviewed by Dr. Hill as I believe that they were reviewed by Human Resources and possibly a school board attorney. Upon review of the same folder of emails I am being censured for this evening, Dr. Hill decided to put the folder away without calling it into question. A few weeks ago, more than 6 months after the review of this exact same folder, Dr. Hill was made aware of the same folder he was made aware of over 6 months ago of the emails. He asked Human Resources to pull emails again for the same emails again for another review. They were then handed to Chairman Gilso, who is the current school board chairman and would be one of my opponents in the upcoming chairmanship position that I had planned to run for. I believe these allegations were instigated by Dr. Hill and Chairman Gilso, since they have reached out to other board members, some who are willing to follow the orders of Dr. Hill, even when they conflict with the best interests of the children of the school division. The entire procedure tonight isn't about me. It's about who runs the school division. Does the board work for Dr. Hill, or does Dr. Hill work for the board? His influence and power over the board doesn't allow for democracy in the division. As recent as today, I was told by an assistant principal via email I cannot attend a meeting with one of my constituents after she requested that I go with her to this meeting. It states in the email I received today, and I will quote the assistant principal. We have been directed by Dr. Hill not to include board members in these types of requests by parents. This clearly interferes with my job as a school board member. If parents cannot call to request my support, they are left powerless and at the mercy of Dr. Hill and the school division with no other recourse. According to the Center of Public Education, as a representative of the community, school board members are held accountable to the public who elected them. By not allowing me to attend meetings with my constituent, a member of the public, Dr. Hill directly interfered with my ability to represent my community. In conclusion, let me be clear. I believe there have been serious violations by board members who have been protected by Dr. Hill and others because they comply with his desires. I do not work for Dr. Hill, I work for the people in the community. That is the reason I'm here defending myself tonight. This is the result of a witch hunt. As board members, we have heard many times from our teachers regarding their fear to speak out about issues that they would like to bring to our attention because of fear of retaliation. I have heard disturbing stories of how administration responds to teachers after they have spoken out on issues and at school board meetings. I can't help but think, if Dr. Hill will retaliate against me, a colleague, in such a vengeful manner, imagine how the teachers and staff must feel. It is time we take our school division back from Dr. Hill's dictator-type leadership and govern it as it's supposed to be. Governed as a democracy. All of us should have a voice, whether we are school board members, faculty, staff, or community members. Despite being strongly encouraged to resign my position by Dr. Hill, I have decided to stay on the board. I'm not doing this at all for personal gain. I am doing this for the teachers, the staff, and the parents and the children and the rest of the community. The people I was elected to represent. I have watched others be bullied into silence by Dr. Hill and his cohorts, and I refuse to do the same and refuse to allow others to be subjected to the same behavior.
Very well, made your statement. At this time, any questions from the board members, since we allowed a statement to be made? If not, the resolution stands as agreed to. And at this time, I would ask for a motion to adjourn. Mr. Gillespie, thank you. Second. Wilder. I call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. The time is 9:47. Thank you.